Let's see. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Hope you brought your coffee. Gotta have my coffee in the morning. Sometimes it's coffee, sometimes it's tea, depending on how I feel. So if you get in here late, that's okay. That's okay. You could always get the replay. Um, like to start off my morning with a little jazz. I love jazz. It's so soothing, especially turn that off so you can hear me. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Gigi and I'm with successwithgg.com. I put together this platform, so this is I would like to say, my little show, Let's Do Coffee. And it being new, there's like different titles that I wanted to come up with, but I couldn't think of any. So I said, well, I'm going to keep it at Let's Do Coffee. I want to keep this positive. I want to encourage you, inspire you to live your best life. Show is, for my entrepreneurs, the people that are online, started a business. I'm the type of person. Sometimes we need to be encouraged, when we hit a roadblock, when we're going after our dreams, and thinking that the dream that we jumped into would be easy and, give us this joy and happiness, not knowing that when you decide to step into your dream, when you decide to go after your passion, um, things happen. Things happen. You you realize that there's some work that needs to be done in order to bring that dream to fruition. Am I right? So, um, what happens is that you have to be in love with that dream. That's why it's called a passion. You have to have passion for it, because when it comes time to do that work, then you're not, your joy and your love and your passion for it will help propel you, will move you forward. But that was on my mind and I had to share that. On that note, today we were supposed to have a guest speaker. Guess what? He didn't show up. He had something else to do. So, that's the bad news. The good news is that he left with Ma. I'm going to be doing the speaking. So, and when he said that he couldn't show up because he was like a guest, somebody that who is doing great things when it comes to pursuing his dream, he's really making it happen. And I really wanted him to come on here to inspire you. But something came up, and I got all into my feelings, y'all. I was like, she's not showing up. You mean he's canceling on me? Child, I was being a big baby. I had to pull it together. And I'm like, okay, what do I talk about? Because I did not plan, I had my questions planned. I always have my questions ready for my guest speakers, but then I'm like, okay, what if a guest speaker don't show up? Didn't plan for that. So, you know, I got this thought, God gave me this thought, talk about value, people knowing their value. Excuse me while I get a sip of coffee. So, people knowing their value, and I was thinking about, when I was talking to my daughter-in-law, I thought about that too. So knowing your value, I got some notes here that I want to share with you. What happens when we don't know our value? What happens when we don't know our value? We settle. We settle for jobs that we don't like. We settle for relationships that's not um, that doesn't feed us and nurture us. We settle for living in a neighborhood that we don't like, in homes we don't like, because we don't have the money. And what happens is it shows up in our character. We start to, some people, it shows up as being a people pleaser. Some people, it shows up in being angry. Some people, it shows up in being depressed. Some people, it shows up in a negative way when we don't know our value, right? And I'm going to tell you the story that I heard. Oprah shared this story, when she was young and she first had her anchor job, her first job as an anchor woman. And excuse me, you guys. Excuse me. Thank you. A little cough there. Don't have a cold. Don't panic. Don't panic. But she got this job as an anchor woman. She was really young. I think she was like 19 or 20 or something like that, but she was young. And this guy who she was working with started about the same time that she did, and she found out that he was making more money than she was. So, she got this courage to walk into her boss office and, sit down and talk to her boss and share with him that, he's making more money than me. And I want equal pay. I want equal pay. I want to be making the same amount. So he asked her, her boss asked her, well, do you have kids? She said, no. Do you own a home? No. Do you, he kept going on with these questions. And so she walked out of his office and, she had this revelation at a very young age. I mean, how many people have this revelation at a young age that I am not being valued here? I'm not being valued in this place. So instead of getting angry, this is what really, I had a light bulb moment. The lights just came out. I'm like, yes, girl, yes. She goes, instead of getting angry, what she did is start to put in motion, a plan to create a life for herself where she will feel valued, right? Create a life for herself where she will be living life on her terms. And honey, she is doing it now. And that's what we should be. Whether you're young, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, it is not too late. When we feel that we're in a place, we're in a location, a place, where we're not feeling valued, it is not what's external. It's not their responsibility. It's not our boss responsibility. It's not our landlord responsibility. It is not our family responsibility, our husband, or anybody's responsibility to create value in our lives. It is our responsibility. Right. On that note, I did some research and I found this bit of information that I want to share with you. I want to read this to you. Hopefully, I could find it. Let's see if I can find it, you guys. But I want to read this quote. If I can find this quote. I love quotes. And initially, when my speaker didn't show up, what I did is I put together a bunch of my favorite quotes. And I was saying to myself, well, I could share my quotes, with different people. So it says, here's a few quotes. When you start to see your worth, your value, you'll find it harder to stay around people who don't. When you start to see your value or your worth, you will find it hard to stay around people who do not see or value you, right? So let me read this. Let me see if I can find it. My notes here. Okay, it says knowing your value. Let me go here. Give me a minute to find it. Because it says identifying your personal value, identifying what's important to you toward your journey to authenticity, fulfilling your self-esteem. Your values are what is important to you in your life. Knowing your value helps you understand what drives you and what you enjoy, inspires you and would like more of. By building a lifestyle around your value, we create that is more satisfying and meaningful to us. Okay, value changes over time. Okay, so it says value changes over time and deepen as we understand ourselves better. They are always moving. Values can also be situational, meaning what you value on your job could be different from what you value in your family life and in your relationship. And the great thing about your value, I like it when it says that values could change over time. You know, it's not like it's written in stone, right? So finally, the values list below is, let's see, example. Okay, so there's some values here. Let me see if I can find it, which are trigger words that you can use. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's some words that you think about that helps you trigger the value in yourself, like words like accomplishment, acknowledgement, authenticity, balance, boldness, challenge, community, passion, confidence, courage, empowerment. So you want to feel these words. You want these words to be a part of, to show up in your life. Like, are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling, encouraged? Are you feeling inspired? One of the things when we know our value, what we do is we don't let fear stop us from going after our dream. Now, when I get excited, this is an exciting topic because for a long time, I didn't know my value. I did not know my value. So I settled for, a job that wasn't conducive to me, that did not feed me. I settled for relationships that did not feed my self-worth. And it wasn't their fault. Like I mentioned earlier, it wasn't their responsibility. It was my responsibility. It was up to me to do the work to create the kind of lifestyle that I wanted, to create a lifestyle where I could live life on my terms. When we know our value, when we know our value, we go to work, we start to pursue our dreams, we put in the work, we start moving toward down an avenue that will allow us to start creating what we want. And that's different for different people. So what I want is going to be different from, and how I create it is going to be different from what you want and how you create it, right? So that we don't show up angry in the world, right? We don't show up with hostility, jealousy, envy, right? And we show up with respecting and valuing ourselves, that we say, no, 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 no. I will not take that. And if you cannot respect me, don't come around me. If you don't see my value, you're not allowed in my space. So we all have our own inner circle. We all create our own inner circle where we invite the right people in, nurturers, people that embrace us, right? Now, when we're allowing people with negativity, people with garbage, people with jealousy, people with envy, that's not going to work. And you're going to recognize it right away. You're going to recognize it right away. This, darling, does not work. And the thing is that it's so funny because there are people that, you know, I work a job, I go to work, I work my job from 9 to 5, and I run a part-time business, right? And I notice that there are people that really don't, you know, they don't really care for me, and which is okay, which is okay. Um, and so it's so funny that people that really don't like you, but they see something about you that they want to know more about, they're like inviting you to lunch. Come on, come have lunch with me. I want to see, why are you so happy? Why are you so cheerful? Why are you so chipper? You know, why don't you care that I don't like you? And so the thing is that I say no. I'm not going to the Christmas parties. You know, I'm not going to the company's functions. I'm not going to the socializing after work, because you don't see me. You don't see my value. You don't want to hear me. You don't understand me. And you know how people say, oh, they give you shade. You know, this person's giving you shade. Um, when you experience people, you see people, they said, don't hear what people are saying. Hear what they're doing. Look at how they're treating you. And so knowing my value, I'm not going to put myself in a place and in a company where, social wise, where I know that you don't like me. I know it. You don't like me. And so when I have to be around you, because my job said that you know, because I'm working, I have to make an income at this time. But what I've done is, like Oprah, I am putting into motion a way where I could transition from my job to creating the kind of life that I want: financial freedom, time freedom, being able to travel, creating a financial abundance so that I can live wherever I want to live. I don't have to settle for living someplace. That's what we do when we know our value. That's what we do when we know our worth. We stop expecting something external to create something for us. And we start to recognize that we are responsible for creating a life for ourselves. We're responsible for, you know, creating, putting together, you know, putting things in motion so that we create the kind of life so that we can live life on our terms. That's why I started a home-based business. And I know that's why you started a business. So if you're struggling in any way, let me see how much time I have, because I could go on and on and on. Oh, I got a lot of time, you guys. I got 15 minutes. So what you want to do is, and I hope, you know, I invited some people on here. I hope they're able to come on here. I don't know. But first of all, I just want to thank you if you came on. And let me look close. Let me see. So we're still recording. I have to look close because I put my glasses on so I can see y'all. Let's see, do I have my glasses? Oh, let me put my glasses on so I can see. Oh, I can't find my glasses. Well, never mind. Oh, never mind, you guys. I can't find my glasses. But well, nobody's jumping on. But I want to say, if you're unable to jump on now, I just want to stop right here and say, if you're unable to jump on now or just see the replay, I just want to say, if you see the replay, thank you for coming. I hope that you find value in this. I hope that this conversation inspires you to know that you are valuable, that you have self-worth. But sometimes it's just going to take some work. Sometimes it's going to take listening to people that are where you are, who are where you want to be. People who are successful in your field. You know, you see people doing things, and you say to yourself, why am I not there? Why am I not having that success? Why am I not, you know? And sometimes it just takes us doing some checking some internal evaluation. Why am I not seeing success? What kind of work do I need to do on myself, so that I can have that kind of success that people who are having, that are in the field that I'm in. I don't know what your desire is. Maybe it's to go to college, maybe it's to start your own business. Maybe you have an online business and you are not seeing the success. Maybe you've been in the trenches for quite some time and you're not seeing success, and you've been jumping from pillar to post. You know, you want to look internal. You want to look at, and this is what I was doing. I was like looking outside for something to show me the way, and seeing that there are external things that can help you, but you have to embrace it internally. For example, you see somebody in the same niche or in the same field. Let's take online marketing, online entrepreneurship, because that's what I do. And you're not having success, but you see other people that are. Find somebody. Find somebody that's doing it, somebody who's positive, and follow their lead. Follow their lead, because they said success leaves. What do they say? Hard works leaves. What is that called? They leave trails. They show up. They show themselves. So they're showing. They leave examples. Okay. So if you see people doing it, if you see people having success and they're in the same field, they're in the same niche, that follow them, see what they're doing and do it. Can't say this enough. Don't blame them. Jealousy, if you are jealous or have envy towards someone who is successful, you are limiting yourself from being successful. You are cutting off your ability to create value for yourself. You're cutting off your ability to see your self-worth. So your focus is different. There's a quote that says, if you change how you see things will change. Okay. So you want to look at things different. You want to say, well, sit down, homework for you, sit down with a paper, a pad of paper, a pad of paper. That kind of made me dark. And write down the things that you want, that you see in a person, that you want to see in yourself, that's positive, right? And then start working on those things. And you probably realize that this person is a reader. And I say this all the time, that people who read positive self-help, self-development books, they're continually working on themselves. That's work that you're going to have to do. Do the work. If your journey, if your thing is to create, put in motion, to be, you see yourself how you want to be, then put in motion. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Let me see. I have some quotes here that I want to share with you. Okay. So these are some wonderful quotes about doing the work. Now, these speak to what I'm talking about, right? Talking about doing the work, knowing your why is so important. And it says, when your why is greater than the obstacles cease to exist. When your why is greater than your obstacles, the obstacles cease to exist. So you're no longer focusing on the obstacles, right? You're focusing on your why. Okay. Now here's one from Wayne Dyer. There is no scarcity of opportunity to make a living at what you love. There's only scarcity of resolve to make it happen. And the question is, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to know your value? How bad do you want to create your wealth, but to know your wealth? How bad do you want to go after that dream? Because when you have a dream and you want it so bad, you know your why, you start creating and knowing your value. You start working on your your worth. Okay. And one last thing, and this everybody knows this one, and this is my favorite here. As a man thinketh in his heart and in his mind, so is he or she. You were blessed to be unstoppable. You were blessed to be great. And I just want you to remember that. Um, okay. So, on that note, once again, I want to thank you for if you did not make it to have to be on the Let's Do Coffee show with me, Gigi here once again. I want to invite you to come on for next Saturday. I'm going to be here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? I'm going to be here every Saturday to encourage. Either I'm going to have some guests, it might be you, or either you can jump on and chit chat with me. Like I said, if you missed it and you see this replay and you see value in it, come on, leave a comment. Go to my Facebook. It's facebook.com/success with Gigi. That's Gigi. Leave a comment. Say, Gigi, you know what? I want to be on your next show. Let's do coffee. I want to chat with you. Leave a comment. Tell me what takeaway, what was your biggest takeaway from, knowing your value, this conversation that we had today on my show, Let's Do Coffee. Okay. So what was your biggest takeaway? What would you like to talk about next Saturday? Let me know. So be back here next Saturday. I may have a guest or I may not have a guest, but whatever happens, it's going to be good. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be motivating. It's going to be inspiring. So come back next weekend, Saturday, and join me for Let's Have Coffee. Okay. Don't come alone. Bring a friend and bring your favorite beverage. I drink coffee. Sometimes I drink tea. I don't know what you drink, but whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it. Let's talk. Let's have fun. Let's inspire each other. Another thing, like I mentioned, go over to my Facebook, facebook.com/success with Gigi. That's Gigi. And leave your comment. And I look forward to talking with you next time. Bye-bye. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me in your space. I wish you great success. And I'll talk with you next time. Ciao.